Jodi Cooley believes that most of us do not have permission to touch, to feel, to express our emotions. So these emotions well up behind boulders of protection and keep us stuck. Jodi was raised in this kind of family, so for the past 15 years, Jodi has been on a personal journey to reclaim her life and master the F word.
I just want you guys to start out by giving yourself a round of applause. Because the work we're going to be doing here today is not for wimps. Okay? This is difficult stuff we're talking about here. And I guarantee everyone in this room has done it. I'm talking about the F word. We all know some people who seem to do it too much. And we know some people that don't seem to do it enough. And then we know some people that don't seem to do it at all, but really need to. I'm talking about feelings. I saw where you were going. You thought I was talking about fun. I grew up in emotional poverty. How poor were we? We were so poor that we could only afford 2 emotions per person. Mine was guilt and shame. My father's was apathy and contempt. And my mother's was bitterness and rage. Needless to say, it was a real ball to live in my house. But I promised myself that I was never going to be an angry person. I was going to be perky, I was going to be positive, I was going to be compassionate, I was going to be caring, I was going to be loving, but I was not going to be angry. No. So years later, I found myself in my therapist's office. And she said to me, "Oh, it's so good to see that you're not angry today." I'm not an angry person. I'm not an angry person. I am not an angry person. Do I really come across as angry? I was devastated to find out this persona that I had created about being positive and caring and compassionate and loving was just so transparent. But what I learned in my family of origin is what I saw was rage, not anger. And so as small children, we look to our parents to find out how we're going to mimic emotions. So we kind of do things how they do things. So when I would act out anger, it came across as rage. And then they would tell me I was insane and crazy. So then I felt embarrassed and ashamed. And so I was hiding it. I, like most people, are taught that it's not okay to be angry. But it's one of the core emotions we get on this human planet. When we get the human condition, we get to be angry. Actually, I like to categorize it loosely into 3 different categories of the emotions: mad, glad, and sad. Okay, are they 100% accurate? No, but it pretty much covers everything when we're talking about feelings. We all are supposed to have feelings, but let's not label them good or bad. They just are. The point is, and the question is, are we going to give ourselves permission to have feelings? You know, I think a lot of us think, oh no, I don't want to feel that emotion because I might get lost in it. But that's not it at all. You know, for years, several years, I stuffed and stuffed unpleasant, uncomfortable feelings, to the point that one morning I woke up and I had depression. I just didn't feel depressed. I was clinically diagnosed as depressed. And if anybody in here's had depression, it's not pretty and it's not fun. What I found out is that depression is anger we don't feel we have the right to have. Well, I didn't feel like I had the right to be angry. You know, I had a roof over my head, a car to drive, food to eat, my health. Hell, I live in the United States, for God's sakes. I mean, do I have a reason to be angry? But the thing is that I kept stuffing it and stuffing it. And so when we keep stuffing our emotions, eventually we build up a dam. And that dam has got to erupt sometime or another. And mine erupted like depression. And in some people, it's road rage. Do you ever see road rage like it's because of the other person? That's why road rage happens? I mean, it manifests in so many different things. So we all have this ability to have this empirical connection to feel our emotions. And when the emotions come up, that we give ourselves the permission to have these feelings. And when we connect with that empirical connection, so many wonderful things happen in our lives. We have the ability to feel joyous, the ability to be productive, the ability to have a fulfilled life. But it starts with our awareness and our responsibility to own and be responsible for our feelings. Are you willing to take the journey with me? Yes. Okay, so we've talked about the first step of the system. Now the second step of our system is called, where do we feel it in our body? Now, if you would ask my mother how she was feeling, she would say, I'm feeling with my hands. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a feeling, like visually scanning your body. So if you've already labeled your emotion, the first step, and secondly, where is that emotion in your body? So closing your eyes and scanning your body, and for instance, say you're feeling sad, and you scan your body and you feel a pit in the middle of your stomach. So that's where the sadness lies. Or say you're feeling stressed and you're feeling a tightness in your jaw. So it always manifests somewhere in the body. A lot of us, and especially because the world that we live in today, is our brain cuts off from our body, and our brain is making decisions without consulting our body. So when we get sick, that's our body's way of getting our attention. So our brain is like going, okay, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this, and we're overworked, working like 60 hours a week, and we're running on fumes, and then bam, we get sick. And we can't figure out, like, it's not convenient to get sick or injured, am I right? But it's the body's way of going, hello, I feel like I am not being heard here. You've been making all these decisions without consulting with me, so now you're going to be sick or you're going to hurt yourself. So what I want to do is getting us back in the connection of our head and our bodies. So I want to do an exercise with you guys. If you, for a moment, just close your eyes and put one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. And breathe. And ask yourself, how am I feeling?
Feel good.
And where am I feeling it?
Stomach.
Abdomen.
And then just come back to your normal sense. Isn't that amazing, that just connection going, wow, I actually feel it somewhere else than my head?